Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Hakim, preaching this word with truth and sincerity around the four corners. Peace and salutations to the Hakim and the Aqua, the true believers of the hopeful elect. This is coming back in spirit and theme of prophecy. And I was watching a video from an elder out in Vegas, Jim has Vegas sit-downs. You know, that's his YouTube handle. I believe his name is Karatza. And he was saying there's a lot of important information, a lot of imperative information. And he was speaking about a rumor of war, you know. So he left the article in the description box. I'm going to read some of the article. And I got the security expert queued up that I'm going to play. Hit a couple of precepts and Lord's willingness to be edifying. Alright, this is from The Mirror, and you read the heading. It says World War III fears as U.S. is warned, prepare for Putin's land grab to reestablish Soviet Union. It says leaders in the U.S. and Europe have been urged to prepare for conflict with Russia as a deal to end the Ukraine war will not stop Putin from trying to take further territory. It says U.S. and European leaders have been told that the Russian tyrant will not halt his expansion plans if he is offered a deal to end the war in Ukraine by President-elect Donald Trump. In fact, he will use the next few years to try and assassinate President Volodymyr Zelensky before undertaking a big land grab, according to Professor Anthony Glees, an expert in security and intelligence from the University of Buckingham. And even that right there, that's hypocritical of the United States, because if they're trying to stop Putin from land grabbing, why are they not stopping Netanyahu from land grabbing from what Israel's doing in Syria and Lebanon? You know, killing off all of those women and children, committing mass genocide amongst the Palestinians. You know, the U.S. is supporting Israel. That's because Israel owns U.S. You know, the top elite bankers, they own the United States. The United States ain't nothing but a corporation. And it's just business as usual. Let me read a little bit more. Matter of fact, before I read a little bit more, let me get a precept. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. So it's the Heavenly Father that's putting the idea on Putin to commence this land grab, if this rumor is true. Get another one. It's the book of Job, chapter 33, verse 15. Actually, I start at 14. For the Most High speaketh once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man. So the Lord seals the instructions on the bed of the men when the men are in their sleep. He seals the instructions of what they are to do. And the Lord put the spirit on Putin to want to reestablish the Soviet Union. Let me get another precept. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, verse 1. It's prophecy about Gog and future invasion of Israel. That's the heading. It reads, And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Here's the point. And I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So that's what the Lord is doing. He's putting hooks in the jaws of Gog, which is Russia. You know? Then it goes on to name the land masses, the countries and the lands that are with Gog. Slovakia. The hell happened? Oh. It says the emeritus scholar believes that Putin is intent on trying to restore the old borders of the USSR, which were dismantled after Russia lost the Cold War. Yeah, I believe the Warsaw Pact. It got dismantled. But he fears this attempt to retake the long-lost territory will spark the start of World War III. Says Professor Glees chillingly told Mirror, Putin will turn to his strategic plan of reestablishing the USSR and its satellite system in all but name by turning on all the post-1997 NATO states. He said it is his intention to force them to leave NATO, and I believe we should take the threat very seriously, as we should have taken all his threats seriously, but signally failed to do. And then the guy goes on to name the countries that used to be part of the USSR. We're talking about Finland, Sweden, Poland, Czechia, Hungary, Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia, Albania, Croatia, Montenegro, and West Macedonia. In other words, a really big grab by Putin, so big that I am confident he will oppose him by force. We will oppose him by force, and that will be how World War III will develop. So, this is just a rumor right now. But 2025 is going to be all the way live, It says this will shape our deteriorating relations with Russia. Trump's foolish and false peace deal will start the clock for the countdown to war. And then that reminds me of 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them like as travaileth a woman with child. And then it says they shall not be able to escape. All right, let's get into the video. This wasn't meant to be long.
Mindset, isn't it? Because the acts of Soviet aggression against the United States at a time when Reagan was rearming NATO and using that kind of language was much less than the kind of acts of Russian aggression that we've actually seen in recent years, whether it's Georgia, whether it's Ukraine. These are real invasions by Russian armies of sovereign countries. So what does that tell you about our mindset? We're not prepared to go there because we don't want to contemplate a country at war with a power like Russia. We can't get ourselves into that frame of mind for various reasons, obvious ones.
Well, we're democracies, Matt. That's the point. And democracies do not like waging war. Democracies never wage war on other democracies. We never have waged war on another democracy. And I think what people are very reluctant to understand is that Russia is an authoritarian, fascistic a dictatorship, much as Nazi Germany was. And we may want to ignore history. I do think, I have to say, that huge support in this country, everywhere, even in the smallest town in the Shires where we live, for Ukraine, shows that there is a collective folk memory in this country, even for those happily born after the end of the Second World War. We know what it is like to be threatened and then attacked by a foul dictator, and that's why we're on Ukraine's side here. But other people, like to forget it. And above all, Putin himself believes in history. He studied history very carefully, and he remembers that what turned the last European war of 1939 into the World War of 1941 was the pact between the then Soviet Union and Germany. And Germany is once again going to be pivotal as we move into 2025 in the future. They've got an important election there. Putin undoubtedly hopes to have some kind of a pact with the AfD in Germany to make Germany neutral. And if he can do that, then those post-1997 NATO countries, and we're talking about, Poland, Finland, you name it, the Baltic republics, they are going to be toast. So I think that, we need to resolve, we need to say to Putin, no, the Baltic is not your sea. The Baltic is an international waterway. You are trying to cut off the Baltic republics and Northeast Europe from NATO. This is an act of war, and we will.
Yeah, you see, like I said, it's an act of war, but there's nothing that they can do to stop it. Like it tells you in Exodus, the 15th chapter, the Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. So the Lord is a master chess player. You know, this is chess, not checkers. You know, this is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 11. It says, "Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple." Yeah, and that this is ultimately the end game for Babylon. You know, if Trump gets into office, he might try to, what's that called? He might try to make a peace deal with Putin to calm him down on trying to get this land grab, because ultimately all these nations that once were allies with America are going to turn on America, and then all the nations that have nuclear capability are going to shoot missiles upon America. It clearly tells you that in the book of Revelation, I believe the 17th chapter. You know, this is the book of staying in Jeremiah, going to the 50th chapter. This is Jeremiah 50 verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." And that's like it says, an assembly of great nations from the north country. And it's talking about Russia, that north country. So if this deal goes through, you know, this could be the start of World War III. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." Yeah, let let the other nations boost up their military complex. You know, their defense systems, their nuclear weapons. Let them get all of that in order for the purpose of the Heavenly Father. You know? It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord." So this is what's going down. Those nations that they named, like Finland and Croatia and Lithuania and Romania, Latvia, you know, just to name a few. Bulgaria, they're going to Sweden. All of those nations, they're going to boost their military. And if Putin can pull this off, then this is going to be an act of war. And this is division amongst amongst the Edomites, because they're all devils, including the Russians. The Russians are a race of devils, and U.S. is a race of devils, and they're divided. There's the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 25. It says, "And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?" Yeah, and when it speaks about Satan, you read in Revelation, I believe the 20th chapter, it's talking about that old wicked serpent, Satan, being Esau, the so-called white man, and his seed line. We are clearly in the time of Satan being divided, Esau and his kingdom being divided. You know, there's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Yeah, and it's not tarrying. You know? These prophecies is popping off the pages like popcorn, jumping off the dresser like Debar Kabash be saying. Like GMS Debar Kabash be saying. Let's listen to a little bit more, and then I'll get another scripture and close.
Of war, and we will do something to ensure that you do not get away with this for nothing.
Right.
And that's what NATO is about.
So I'm looking at my text messages coming in here, and I would say they're equally divided between those who think that, you and I are warmongers, and those who think that actually we should, we agree with you and say we should stand up to Putin far more. Someone writing in saying, look, go easy on Trump. He's the only man, who can bring about some kind of peace with Vladimir Putin because he gets on with him. There'll be a deal done over Ukraine, and there'll be security guarantees for Ukraine, short of NATO membership. Let's just move on. And, the UK itself is not threatened by Russia. So what on earth are we going on about? What do you...
Yeah, you see that? Just like I said, when Trump gets in office, if he tries to make a peace deal with Putin, let me read this. It's 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, I'll start at 1, the day of the Lord. "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to try to claim peace, but that's not in the Lord's program. The Lord wants war, and war we shall get. Like the guy said, we're divided. These nations are divided. Let me get this in Mark. There's the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 23. "And he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end." Yeah, and that's what you're saying. The United States is divided against itself. You got the Republicans and the Democrats. They're divided against themselves. You got Russia and United States are divided against themselves. They're in a proxy war right now with Ukraine. And Russia's And the United States is in a proxy war with Israel. You know, backing Israel for Iran. And Russia backs Iran. So this kingdom is the kingdom of Esau is steadily falling as the days go by. And the ultimate end goal is those countries in NATO, they're going to, you know, when you read Daniel, the 2nd chapter, where it speaks about the statue, those 10 toes that were made of iron and clay, that were partly strong and partly weak, they're divided, you know, and the end result is going to be Revelation 17 and 16. And it reads, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, America, which reigneth over the kings of the earth." Yeah, so that's going to be the end goal. That's going to be the end game for America. The beast and the horns of the beast. NATO and the EU is going to turn on America being the whore, and they're going to burn her with fire, leave her desolate and naked, and burn her with fire, meaning those thermonuclear missiles. You know? So I just wanted to bring that out. You know, blowing the trumpet in Zion. The Lord's will, you was edified. Until next time, we're going to say Shalom to the elect. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash.